Good morning. My name is Hassan Yusuf. I'm the Secretary-Treasurer of the Canadian Labour Congress. And I'm pleased to be here today with my brothers and sisters from Mexico and the Canadian Labour Movement. We are working together to submit a complaint about the Mexican government, specifically about how the government is applying labor laws to the Electrical Workers Union and its members. This complaint will be submitted to the Canadian government officials under the terms of the North American Free Trade Agreement or the Labor Cooperation Agreement. This agreement is commonly called NALC for short, and it is a labor side deal of the North American Free Trade Agreement. My colleagues will give you more details about the outrageous behavior of the Mexican government, but briefly stated that the government used soldiers in 2009 to invade and shut down the Mexican City electrical generation plant. They terminated 44,000 workers and tossed out their collective agreement. The government also harassed and intimidated the union and its members. We believe this is a violation of Mexican labor laws in this Constitution and International Labor Organization Convention. It was also a violation of Mexico's responsibility under the Labor Side Agreement and NAFTA. We also have grave concerns about how the three governments are treating this Labor Side Agreement. This complaint is one of 37 that have been filed as of 2010. And not one of these complaints have been resolved with any remedy or sanctions. This complaint by the electrical workers is a true test of whether or not the side agreement on labor cooperation is effective in safeguarding the rights of workers. I would like now to introduce my colleagues, and they are Martina Espenza, the Secretary General of the Mexican Electrical Workers. Also accompanying him is Jose Humberto Montañez de Oca, International Affairs Secretary of the Electrical Workers Union. Laura Ramirez, our interpreter, will also interpret. We also have with us Hugo Neri, the Legal Counsel for the Electrical Workers, and Shaheen Harani, Legal Counsel for the United Steelworkers. Our Mexican brothers will briefly describe what has happened to their union and the nature of their complaint. These remarks will be interpreted. They will also be available for questions, and their legal counsel will also take questions if there is any. So I'd like now to invite Brother Martin, who will speak on behalf of his colleagues from Mexico.
Muy buenos días.
Good morning.
Mi nombre es Martín Esparza Flores.
My name is Martin Esparza Flores.
Secretario General del Sindicato Mexicano de Electricistas.
I am the Secretary General of the Electrical Mexican Workers Union.
Estamos aquí en esta sede parlamentaria de Canadá.
We're here in the Parliament of Canadian Parliament
para informar a la sociedad internacional
to inform the international community
lo que está pasando en nuestro país, México.
About what's happening in our country, Mexico.
Nuestra organización sindical va a cumplir 97 años de existir en nuestro país.
Our union will be celebrating its 96th anniversary.
Nos dedicamos desde hace 97 años a generar, transmitir, transformar, distribuir y abastecer de energía eléctrica en la zona más importante de México.
And we've been working hard to produce and provide the central part of Mexico with electricity.
Desde el 10 de octubre del 2009 vivimos una situación autoritaria por parte del gobierno mexicano al tomar nuestras instalaciones con lujo de violencia a través de las Fuerzas Armadas y Militares.
So since October 10th, 2009, the government in a very authoritarian way took over the premises of the Electrical Worker Corporation and throughout the workers.
Después la publicación de un decreto ilegal donde pretende extinguir a un organismo público descentralizado que es estratégico para el desarrollo de nuestro país.
And the government published an illegal decree through which it terminated this public corporation, which is very strategic to the development of our country.
Con esta decisión autoritaria dejó sin empleo a 44,000 trabajadores y sin el sustento del salario a las propias familias.
And through this decree, authoritarian decree, he left 44,000 workers without a job and no way to have salary protection and no protection for their families.
Hemos acudido a los tribunales nacionales de México para restablecer la legalidad y el Estado de Derecho, nos respeten nuestras garantías individuales y colectivas como trabajadores.
And we've been through national tribunals to try to reinstate to recover our rights and to get our labor rights respected.
No hemos tenido respuesta favorable de los órganos de impartición de justicia en México.
We have had no response from any of the legal entities.
Por lo que acudimos aquí a Canadá a la oficina administrativa en el marco del Tratado de Libre Comercio con América del Norte. Existe un acuerdo de colaboración.
So that's why we're here in Canada to present this complaint to the National Administration Office as part of the NALC collaboration agreement.
A solicitar la intervención del gobierno canadiense, en especial de la Oficina de Colaboración Administrativa, para poder ingresar el día de hoy una queja donde señalamos la serie de violaciones que viene haciendo el gobierno de Felipe Calderón en nuestro país en el marco del convenio de colaboración entre México, Estados Unidos y Canadá.
So that's why we are here today to present this complaint and seek the help of the Canadian government to make sure that these numerous violations are, stopped, but also to denounce the violations of the government that have been ongoing within the framework of the NALC.
Queremos señalar que esta queja administrativa ha sido elaborada por un prestigiado despacho de abogados laboralistas y especialistas en materia internacional.
And this complaint has been developed by a very professional legal office that have an international reputation.
Así como ha sido respaldada por más de 80 organizaciones sindicales de Canadá, Estados Unidos y México, como de organizaciones sociales.
Yeah, and it has also been endorsed by more than 80 non-for-profit organizations and labor organizations in Mexico, the United States, and Canada.
Queremos señalar también que solicitamos que sea admitida esta queja, que el ministro del Trabajo de Canadá solicite al gobierno mexicano un informe específico de todas las consecuencias que ha traído esta decisión autoritaria que tomaron de despojarnos de nuestra fuente de trabajo, violentando los convenios internacionales.
So we would like to request that once that this complaint is accepted, that the Minister of Labor demand from the Mexican government a report, explaining what the consequences of their actions have been.
Han sido 2 años muy difíciles para los trabajadores de nuestra organización sindical.
Our workers have been through very difficult times throughout these 2 years.
Despojarnos de nuestro trabajo, dejarnos sin salario y sin seguridad social.
Yeah, the workers have been without a salary, without social protection for all this time.
Hay compañeros que han perdido la vida en estos 2 años, hay compañeros que se han suicidado, hay compañeros que han sido golpeados por las Fuerzas Armadas y Militares.
Some workers have suffered a lot. There have been a couple of workers who committed suicide or have been victimized by violence of the military.
Así como en este momento tenemos 12 compañeros en la cárcel, el único delito que han cometido es defender su derecho al trabajo. Son los compañeros que están en la cárcel en este momento. Y pedimos también su libertad porque son presos políticos.
We also have 12 of our workers in prison up to now, and their only crime has been to try to defend their rights, and we haven't been able to get them released.
Por lo que solicitamos también la intervención del Parlamento canadiense que permita revisar los acuerdos de colaboración con México para el respeto y el restablecimiento de los derechos adquiridos de los trabajadores del Sindicato Mexicano de Electricistas. Muchas gracias.
Yes, so we requested that the Parliament help us recover our rights through the review of this agreement, the NAFTA agreement.
Let me make a couple of more small comments and then ask if there's any question. First, let me thank you again for your attention, and we're here to say that our political leaders signed the North American Free Trade Agreement back in 1994, and they obviously wanted to remain. We want to remind them that they also signed the labor side agreement that is supposed to protect the rights of workers. Our governments are not holding up their part of the bargain. So we would like to open if there's any questions that you would like to ask both the CLC and our colleagues from Mexico in regard to the complaint itself and, of course, the process that we hope to evolve from this point in time.
So what's the process?
The process today, we will meet with folks in the Labor Department, the federal government, and we will deliver the complaint. And we're hoping that within a short period of time, they've got about 60 days or so to evaluate the complaint on its merit. And of course, at that point, obviously, trying to indicate what they would then do in regard to responding to the allegations we've made in the complaint.
This is on the Canadian, so Canadian civil servants will be reviewing this?
Yes.
And then they will decide, based on the merits,
Yes.
what to do with it? Is that
Yes.
kind of-
Well, there's three levels of government, but before they can obviously, they need to ensure that there's merit to our complaint, and secondly, of course, once they decide that is established, then obviously would have to engage the Mexican government about its own laws and whether those laws have been violated, and ultimately, we're hoping that they would conclude nothing but the obvious and then figure out what the remedy might be to the complaint that we're filing. At some point it does, because if they should find the Mexican government guilty in terms of not enforcing its own laws, then obviously there can be severe penalty. And obviously that's when the politicians do get involved, will be the Minister of Labor and the Secretary of Labor from Mexico and the United States, whose ultimately decision-making process would have to indicate what level of sanction they're prepared to impose on Mexico.
So is there, trying to understand the project, like, is there a tribunal? Is there, who's making this decision in terms of whether?
I'll get my Shaheen to answer this. Sure. Go ahead.
What we're hoping to achieve is ministerial consultations between the Minister of Labor in Canada and the Minister in Mexico. That's kind of the first level of consultation. If that level of consultation is unsuccessful, there is a arbitration board that is allowed under the NALC agreement that would hear such a complaint. That's never, to my knowledge, been used in its history of existence.
So the Canadian government would have to accept this complaint before it goes anywhere.
That's correct.
And you mentioned, I think it was 37 cases or complaints since 2007 or 2010, sorry, I missed that.
I think it's since the inception of the agreement. Yeah.
So 1994, basically, really. So you had 37 complaints, none of them have gone anywhere. How many of them have originated in Canada?
I believe there have been
Small number, I think maybe less than 5 actually.
Yes.
Originated in the U.S.?
in the U.S. or in Mexico.
Okay. Has there ever been any explanation as to why it's never went anywhere?
No.
The best we've been able to get from the government, of course, that what they will do in regard to the complaint, they would hold a workshop to bring the parties together so they can better appreciate the nature of the complaint. Never gone to the point of actually saying, is this a violation of the respective government not upholding their labor laws in their country, and ultimately make a decision whether that government is guilty. So I guess this is probably will be a fairly clear test about whether or not the side agreement actually have any merit, period. Because based on what my colleagues from Mexico has just outlined in regard to this particular set of violation, it is beyond the pale that you couldn't conclude anything but guilt. But of course, before you can get there, they need to go through the process to establish that. Well, I'm not a skeptic in life, so generally speaking, I'm hoping this will be the case that actually proves that the side agreement actually does have some merit, and the governments would ultimately try to put the commitment they made back in 1994 to its true commitment.